on our software, and we're gradually getting more and more clients. And so it's almost like a private Facebook, so to speak. They can anytime, day or night, they can look at documents we've put there for them. They can send us a picture. They can send a message, and everyone on their file can look at that and respond to them. So I like that idea because some people don't use the portal, and I like that idea of knowing their preferred. I like all the ideas, and we will incorporate those into our intake.
So not just, I know that when case get hot and it's going to trial, obviously you need a little bit more information, whatnot. And if you can add the client portal, if you take that off, then we don't need to communicate with you unless there's something special or urgent. I think this also works well with pre-lit before it goes to suit, because that will save so much calling back and forth and so on with the client.
I agree. I like that. And I will give that to my intake people and let them start using it.
Yeah. Again, the brilliantness is now you have attorney doing what they're supposed to do, staff. You don't have to chase people down. What's a good time to call, back and forth. I think that will save a lot of time. Okay. Showing how an assignment is done. Show it, get one person right up to see what you did, create screen. So you know how you are teaching them all the time. You show them how an assignment is done, and you're teaching them and so on and so forth. What I'm recommending to you is this. Let's just say I'm showing you how I want this assignment is done. I'll show it. Then you get them to write out what the procedure of what you did for that assignment. Now, if there's more than a few people in that show and tell assignment, once that person wrote out that procedure, you circulate it and then get different opinion and whatnot, and the person who wrote it in the first place finalize it. So now you have a procedure in that particular assignment how it is done. So you don't keep teaching all over again and suck up your bandwidth. Would something like that work with dealing with assignment?
Yes, and that's how we did a couple of our handbooks, like the front desk and so forth, but we definitely could use that more in our cases and in our litigation. We absolutely, that would be great to do.
And once you do this assignment or training and so on, where do you keep what I call these wisdom, these nuggets? How do you keep it so people know where to look, when to look, and so on?
We have, like, for example, our courier, we have a runner book, we have a front desk book. We do have a legal assistant book, but the legal assistant book, which is the one that's most needed, is the one that's least updated. And part of the reason is so many of my people have been with me so long. But I think that definitely needs to be done more, especially on our law stuff. But the other ones that we've done have been stuff like, in our charity, on our front desk, our runner, more administrative. We have one my sister initially did about 10 years ago, and then my wife updated it, Kelly updated it a few years ago, and then we've been gradually doing it, but not at the level you're talking about.
But if I had more time, that's something I could do, because I do a lot of the training for the paralegals and the legal assistants.
Yeah, see, Kelly is very patient, very knowledgeable, and she's the best person for training folks. As a matter of fact, we've got 2 people on staff. Both of them have law degrees, and they're the ones that give her the pushback, because at the time they onboarded, Kelly wasn't doing the training, and so they don't do stuff as well as the people that Kelly trained. And of course now they give her pushback because they're lawyers and she's not.
Got it. So I'm hoping to resolve that when Kelly is taking more and more reign back in running the law firm, the real estate side quiet down a bit. I'm hoping that respect, that honoring will get back to where it needs to.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Or do we need to sort of intervene and tell them, you know what, I appreciate you guys, the fact that you're a lawyer, just to let you know, talking to my wife is talking to me, so you need to be on the equal page. Do we need to say something like these to these two new attorneys?
I did that with the biggest problem person when we went on a case out of town. I had that conversation very sternly and explained to him that, number one, she's got 30 years experience and she knows more than any of us about the systems. And number two, she is the general manager. Number three, she's my wife, and that they will respect her. And that particular person actually went to her and apologized.
He's been perfect.
And he's been sugar won't melt in his mouth now. That was Peter Rudin. But I had a long conversation with Peter, and I think part of that also came from he felt like all the younger lawyers in the office. He's licensed in New York, not in Georgia, so he's working as a paralegal. And he felt like all of the young lawyers in the office were not respecting his experience and so forth. So what I did was, after I told him, he started trying to explain, apologize to me, and I told him that Kelly was the general manager, and if he wanted to continue working here, he needed to go resolve it with her, not to explain it to me, because if he explained it to me, he would be discounting something she said or saying something she said wasn't true or making me angry, and I wasn't interested in having that conversation with him. And so he went to her and they worked it out. But what I did was, at the next two meetings, and I've done it once more since then, actually I did it this morning, is I pointed out to everyone some things that Peter had done that were very good based on his experience of being a lawyer for a long time, and how valuable that he was. And he seems to be beaming at the meetings now that I've done that. The other one is a female lawyer, and I think she's starting to come around, especially since I've been removing her from the direct supervision of Clay Davis.
Got it. So here's what and you told me about Peter before on one of our call about you accentuating his gift. He needed to have that shine in order for him to do what he does. It's almost like he was trying to pee off Kelly to try to make himself look good. So that's one thing I know about you well enough, that you're a very good read on people, and you know exactly what to do to get them to inspire and motivate and whatnot. So congratulations on that piece.
Well, thank you, but sometimes I overlook the obvious when it's right in front of me. As a matter of fact, day before yesterday, Peter came to me. I had brought up the fact that something had not been done on a file in the last 2 months, and Peter came to me and explained it, and I realized that what he did when we were talking about it in the meeting is he thought I was saying that he had not done anything in 2 months. So this morning at the meeting, I pointed out to everyone that I wasn't being critical of anyone that had not done something in the last 2 months. I was pointing out the need of everyone working together so that no one person had to do everything, and that was my reason for pointing it out, not to criticize anyone. And I think that drove the point and helped.
A side note, thank you for clarifying that. A side note to you, Kelly, I've always said that what I've learned of you, even though you're kind of quiet, I think you don't play a central role and shine who you are. You're kind of like the background, almost like is it the martyr? The word?
Matriarch?
Patriarch, more like you sacrifice a lot and it quietly. So what I'm saying,
a martyr.
No one can make a martyr. Thank you. No one can make a fool out of you without your consent. When you sense like this, you can gently knock on Peter's door. Can I have a conversation with you? I just want to let you know what you did doesn't honor me. That's not who I am. So just want to let you know that wasn't nice. So sometimes I feel, I could be wrong, you need to learn and practice that truth.
I really do, because I have a very hard time with confrontation.
You have a new message.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, I can tell you she's much, 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 much improved, especially when it comes to doing that to me. When I first met her, She
Yeah.
would even send her food back if it wasn't done. And now she pretty much goes in the kitchen and shows them how to do it. So she is much stronger in that department. But in the office setting, you're right. It would be helpful
Yeah.
if she would. And I think it doesn't always have to be confrontational. I think she just feels like it's going to be confrontational.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think it really does.
I'm going to give you a very powerful tools for you to learn. It can never be confrontational. So something happened between you and Peter. You say, Peter,
Yeah.
may I have a minute of your time? Of course, most people will say yes. Can you tell me, what do you think I feel when you say that to me?
Yeah. It's not accusatory. It's focusing on the feelings. I like that.
Yeah.
So notice what I'm teaching you. You can never be confrontational if you're curious. If, hey, I'm just wondering, can you tell me why you said what you said? Did I do something that stir you up that I'm not aware of? When you start to ask powerful questions, you come from seeking first to understand before understood. It could never come across as confrontational. Okay, so that's a
Right.
good tool for you to practice.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Okay, awesome. Next thing, anytime you're sending people to training where you're paying for hotel, you're paying for their learning, I don't care what it is, I want a agreement that when they come back, they must summarize what they learned. They must present it in one of our lunch and learned, or teach it to certain staff. And we will, again, put it on a binder, just like the legal assistant book. I don't care what you call this book, so that you just don't go there, have a good time. You might pick up something, not pick up something. Now, guess what? You got some homework to do. Is that something that you can administer or
Yeah.
add to your agreement with the staff?
Yeah.
Yes. I like that.
It's just a way for you to pay for your investment. If another person is going to the Chris Summit, now they've got all these wonderful notes that you've taken. They can read it and so on and so forth. It's just a great way to leverage it.
Yeah.
Excellent idea.
Thank you. Next. Now, all these ideas, when I come back in the new year, I'm going to follow it up, because this is just an overview, overpass. I know that I'm dumping lots of stuff from you from the 360, but I'm already seeing some stuff already relieving some of the pressure in system, which is great.
Yes.
Now, is there, because you're so busy, Howard, is there a way where you dedicate it every day or every 3 days where in your calendar from 1 to 1:45, you sign all documents, ease the bottleneck? I feel like there's a bottleneck in your office because your rear end is not in that chair long enough to sign all those documents.
Yes, and as a matter of fact, what we've been doing as it relates to rejecting cases and new cases that come in, that is one of our topics in the morning meeting. And what they do is, if it needs to be discussed, they briefly mention what it is. If not, they put all of the documents there, and either during the meeting, like if we're watching a short video, or at the end of the meeting, I'm signing the documents. And one of the big bottlenecks was our non-rep letters, because I like to be able to know, since so many of the cases come from people I went to high school with, doctors I know, I like to see when a case comes in and make sure that person is thanked and so forth. And that was bottlenecking, for a bunch of letters would be stuck in my box. Now they bring those to the morning meeting. We spend about 5 or 10 seconds on that topic, and then either I sign it or I just hand it to another lawyer and they sign it. So I'm trying to do that at the end of the morning meetings, but a time during the day would probably work as well, especially if I just signed it, at 9:15 at the end of the meeting.
Perfect. So when you do see these names pop up that you went to high school with, they refer you. Well, what do you do?
I just confirm that they got, if we don't take the case, that they get to a law firm that will take care of them, or one of our alliance lawyers, and then I look at the document to make sure that the front desk sent them a send out card, and if it's someone that sent a good case or someone that we have a good relationship with, me and the front desk will discuss what gift they receive. Where that was taking a long time, now the last 2 weeks that we've been doing it, it takes about 5 minutes of the morning meeting.
Got it. Congratulations. Well done. I love the idea.
Thank you.
Eventually, again, you're welcome. In 2019, here's what I want to begin to start seeing. I know you're doing well in your marketing to attract these truck cases. That is not a small feat. I also know that you have people that are recommending you because of your personality and your high school and all that stuff. Here's what I want to see eventually. I want a program called Nourish to Astonish in place sometime in the first quarter of next year. It goes something like this. How do I nourish you and astonish you that you will keep bringing your friends, your cases around your circle of influence to me? That's what that program is. So, in a high level, what that programs entail is you start looking at who are the top 20% of the people that bring you cases. They could be the lawyers, it could be the family member, it could be friends, it could be your old school buddies, it could be your clients that loves you and whatnot. You identify who these people are. Usually there's only a handful, maybe 8, maybe 10, maybe 12. We now design a program how to nourish and astonish them. Meaning, if you know that your friend loves baseball tickets, so every 3 months you send them a baseball ticket. Again, we're talking about these high referral people that we want to nourish. They send us maybe 3 cases every year or whatever the threshold is. The whole idea is one law firm even hire a detective to follow that particular lawyer to find out what kind of restaurant they like. And again, because they send them so many cases, not just we give them referral fees, but we are giving them a recognition. In this particular case, we found out there's a particular cigar that he likes. This is how you acknowledge people to the core, because the high referral will keep on bringing them, because that's how you nourish to astonish.
Great ideas.
Right?
And we already do that with some of them. We've got one lady that sends us cases from the emergency room all the time because her son is a special needs, and he has to go to the emergency room a lot, and we will go buy her Sam's gift certificates so she can buy ribs for her church and stuff like that.
Yeah, we try to do that. We could do better. Of course, I've probably read 200 marketing books. My favorite one is 7 Levels of Communication that help encourage that, but I don't do it as consistent as I should. With this particular lady Kelly's talking about, she really likes some kind of beef at Sam's, and we try to give her on a regular basis a $500 gift card to go there, which she loves. Yesterday I have an ex-client who sends me cases, and I read on Facebook that he fell and broke his prosthetic leg, and I wired him $500. And so we try to do that, but I could do much, much better in the, Ben Glass, they call it your herd, and all that stuff of the people that they market to. But I get you're saying your top referral sources, and I could do much better at that, and I do like that idea. And one of the things I'm doing, one of the reasons why I'm recording the calls and having them transcribed is I've started a Sammy notebook, and it's got a lot of our action plans in it of the things that you suggest. And so this will go in there, and I will strive to do much better at that.
Perfect. You don't have to strive. The fact that you are starting, it's a great start. You're already doing, like Kelly says, some of these already. The difference is to make it conscious. So with respect to the woman in the emergency room, again, I'm not sure you should be doing it, but all you do is you add it in the calendar, every 2 months reminds you of what do I send her. It's like me. My son is in Japan. I love him to death. I have a busy schedule. Every 3 weeks, a reminder pop up, send my son a book, send my son a loving card, so that not just he knows on the odd time when I send him Facebook and this whatnot, it's a conscious effort. My calendar runs my life. This is what Nourish and Astonish program is. So if I lay out the program that these are the 4 things that we need to buy every quarter or whatever it is, staff get the certificate ready, and you delegate the task, and they know what to send, when to send. It's off your plate because it's got consciousness to it. That's the brilliance of that piece.
Yeah, that's excellent. And Michelle, my personal assistant, who's out until September, that just had a baby, and then another one of my chief paralegals, Tiffany, who had a baby 6 days ago. That's going to be a lot easier when those 2 are back.
That's a long time from now to September. Not to say that they shouldn't take those holidays.
Well, she
that's a long time.
She had some medical complications, and then also she's greatly concerned about her appearance. So she's also having some plastic surgery done. Believe me, it's not an acceptable time for me either. But except for my sister who's passed away, in 30-something years, I've never had a personal assistant that could touch her. So I'm probably going to hire someone before the end of January. But when she comes back, I will welcome her back.
Yeah, and Tiffany, I know, will be back in just a couple of weeks.
Yeah, the other one, Tiffany.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know, I gotta change the water around here or something. All these babies. The problem, I used to have an in-house daycare, and we let the employees bring and then all the employees' kids grew up, and now the new employees are starting to have babies. It's just like, it's like an epidemic. I don't know what to do about it.
The water. So the good thing is they trust you take care of their future to have family, because if they don't trust you and they don't think the job is steady, they wouldn't do that. So you must be doing something right. So next one, it's a little bit personal. You might want to type this up, remind you, because I think you're beginning to have an awareness of what the staff is asking you to do. So the first thing is speak less, ask more questions. One thing I know about you is you're very good, you're very smart. Right away, you see solution, you see suggestion. Nothing wrong with that. That's what a true entrepreneur is. The trouble is with that mindset, working with lawyers or paralegals, they kind of don't think like that. So I would rather say, trying to solve this challenge with this, Clay, I'm thinking of this idea. What do you think? It's more collaboration, even though you already made a decision what that needs to be.
Right.
So speaking less, ask more questions, allow you to get more engagement, more collaboration. They think the idea comes from them. That's number one.
Good suggestion.
Number two, there's a tendency that you use a lot of I in your statements or in your way of talking to the staff. Begin to have awareness to use that we instead of I, even though I know it's an I. That will, again, add what I call the soulfulness grease to the conversation, number two.
Right.
Number three, you might want to think about, before the start of a meeting, just pick one or two individuals to say, hey, Clay, really want to appreciate and acknowledge you for taking the time to join us full time and starting in July. I really appreciate your decision. So give one or two praises before every single meeting. Again, if I know about you, and Kelly will probably say yes quietly, you are just like this racehorse. You just keep going without just that little moment to connect, because I know you're very motivational. That will also add to that meeting as well. I know you do some of that already.
Sammy, you are right on point. his mind never stops going. He's like a gerbil running on the wheel. His mind never stops. He's got, and besides just the law practice, he's got a very good real estate practice, and he does a lot of real estate investing and putting big real estate deals together. So he has a lot of that going on in his mind while he's got the law staff. So you are right. His mind never stops.
And he spends a lot of time being a great husband.
Yes, that's true.
Listen, I get it because I have, I believe in we spend the first half of our life building our ego and the last half of our life trying to get rid of it. And I have developed to where when I meet with new clients, that I am able to slow that down and focus on them and hear what they're saying. I do need to be better at that with employees because I know what it does with the clients. Even the cases that aren't as successful, our clients, they love us and they love me. And even cases that we weren't successful, they send us people and they praise us on social media and testimonials. So I recognize that is a skill or an effort or a conscious that I need to do more with employees, and I appreciate you pointing that out. I have developed to where I am better at it with clients, and that has resulted in a great referral pool of clients.
Yes. So one way is treat everybody like a client, even your wife. I know you're a great husband. That's a gift. Everything you talk about, it's a gift. The curse is people that love you, it's hard to keep up. That's the part, because you wear us down by your different idea. Why do you think you have so many real estate property? Because you just keep going like this gerbil never stop. And then now Kelly's got to manage it. And then suddenly we realize that maybe we don't need, that's the part. If you slow down, you can actually go much faster.
Sammy, you know how I describe it? Madness.
I already know that.
and that's why with the cases, like for example, right now, for a law firm to have 7 lawyers and for us to have 150 cases that we do, I mean, most firms that have 7 lawyers that are a PI firm have 1,500 cases. We have 150. My goal is in litigation to have 12, and me work on 3. And in our settlement department, our goal is to get that down to a maximum of 50 cases. So, I want to have 60, 62 cases maximum in the whole office. And so that's what we're striving for. But I recognize this, and I appreciate you emphasizing it.
Yeah, so if you can sort of, I know you're aware of it by having that something nearby you or on the top book of the Sammy book there will remind you. I think that would be great. Also, don't be shy to say to the staff, if I go too fast, pull your ears or wrinkle your nose so that I know that I'm this gerbil that's running or this rabbit that's hopping. So in other words, they're going to give you a signal when you go too fast. So that was one of the things when I said to my kids, what do you want me to stop doing? The kids said, wow, Dad, when you get angry, you start spitting because you are talking fast and you are just going. I said, guys, when I get there, can you just put your hands up and I'm aware? Because when you are in the energy, you're just going because that's your default. So give permission to the staff to give them signals to do what you have to do too.
Like the bottom line.
Right. Last thing is, you might at the end of the meeting just do a collective praises. Guys, this was a great meeting. Or guys, I look forward to all you, whatever accomplished. I appreciate each one of you. Again, just read a quote or do something so that, again, not just that you're running fast. These are things that what I call grace that allow you to come back to the group again. I know I'm eating over our time. Just give me 3 more minutes. I'm almost done. Kelly, there was a comment about hard to play favorites. I would like you to think about in our next call what are 3 things that can do to not play favorite, even though I know you are aware of this and so on and so forth? I think that would be an awesome place for you to start giving that some thought to.
Yeah, and I know where that comes from. It comes from the 2 lawyers that kind of give resistance to me when I show any type of authority.
Okay.
When I show any type of authority, they push at me and, resist what I say, ignore what I say, and maybe I'm not as friendly or walk by their office as much as I do those that respect me and show me respect. That may be where that's coming from, I believe.
I think that came from Clay because he saw the friction between her and Peter, and I think that we've addressed that friction, and I think that was Clay. Clay and Peter are kind of like a little team that huddle together, and I always thought that the negative stuff was coming from Peter, and as we've gone through this progress, I found out that it was coming from Clay. And so I've been making efforts with Peter, and I've noticed that, like in the meetings and stuff, he didn't today, but in the meetings and stuff, sometimes when Clay throws in his negativity, Peter's now taking the role of saying, well, no, Clay, I don't think you're looking at this right,
Yeah.
And so anyway.
So if you think you've got that lick, which I think you do because we're moving towards it, somewhere in the near future, let's do a check-in to go, hey, we gave you permission to speak your truth, and one of them was me, Kelly. You think that's a favorite. Has that changed? If not, please let me know. So another word, a thought for you to think about is this. It's easy for me to be nice to you because you smell nice, you're kind, you're this. That's easy. How do I be kind to this guy that comes to my restaurant asking for money? We usually give him $5 or $3 or $8, whatever. And then one time we didn't give it to him. He goes sit on our brand new banquet and pee on it.
Right.
The test of what the biblical verse teach us is there's no learning being kind to people that are kind to us.
Right.
How do we master ourselves when people are not kind? That's your learning in this lifetime, per se.
You're right.
So great, and it's natural because, don't get me wrong, I'm still not there. When somebody say unkind things to me, that's a physical reaction on my part. I think that's the practice of how do we learn from that piece. So a check-in piece down the road could be that, hey, it's about a month now. Do you still feel that? Whatever. That would be a great place for you to go play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent.
I just want to thank you guys for being so open, so wanting to learn. So I don't even know what else to do. I'm just honored to be in your lives at this moment. So thank you so much for embracing me and what we are able to do with you in this relatively short time.
Thank you. And do you have another 45 seconds?
Yes.
Okay. You quoted me $3,000 a month. I need you to send me a bill so that I can pay you for what I owe you now. And then what I want to do is we are getting an account set up because we generally use credit cards or checks. And I've got a deal going with Crisp where they have to debit something. So we're setting up an account just for that. Can we set up an account starting January that debits your fee, or would you prefer we overnighted you a check?
I can do credit card if it makes it easier for you. I don't send invoice until the beginning of next month for what we done. So
Okay.
far this month, I think you only have one call because the one call was Thanksgiving. We couldn't do it. The other call was really 2 calls. I'm sorry. I think the other call was a sample coaching call. So you'll get an invoice probably somewhere on Sunday or Monday, and
Okay.
then you are welcome to pay by credit card if you wish.
Okay, I just didn't. I know sometimes people are conscientious about, there's a credit card fee or something, and I was just wanting to make sure that it wasn't something that was, costing you money if we could easily do it any of the other payways. So do you prefer a draft out of a checking account, or do you prefer a credit card, or would you prefer a check be overnighted to you? Do either one of those three?
Whichever makes it easier for you. I come from an abundance mentality. I mean, it's written in the agreement that I send you. You just choose whatever that honors you, what makes it easy for you.
Okay, did you send me a written agreement?
Yeah, I will resend it to you again.
Okay, and listen, I'm trying to fix this email problem because, like, a lot of times I don't even see your emails, and it's not me not opening them. It's that I have to solve with the internet provider because I have emails that are coming late. I have emails that are going in spam, and I'm trying to get this handled. I've already removed 12 of the 14 list servers I'm on to where it's not overburdensome. And also, if you do it and if you want to, the best way to get a hold of me is a text. Because my phone don't ring in the office and emails back up. But if you don't mind, resend that and copy it to Kelly, and we will get that executed and get the payment set up.
Done. What's your cell phone number?
912-596-2002. And just for your record, Kelly's is the exact same one, except instead of 2002, it's 2005.
Done. I appreciate you both. My love is with you. Thank you for willing to learn and wanting to move forward. So have an awesome weekend.
We'll talk
Thank
to
you
you
so
Friday.
much.
Have a great day,
We
Sammy.
appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Boy, didn't he?